What's up, everybody? Dean Ellis from Dartech, and I haven't gone through all the tabs as I said I was not going to do. I basically covered off on a lot of the layout stuff. If you have any questions that I've missed on certain items of this this tutorial playlist, please contact me. I do read the comments every day, and I'm happy to answer any questions. And if you feel I've missed something that was needs a tutorial, I'm happy to do one for you and set a tutorial for you to see how to do it. Okay. So yeah, I'm there for you. There to provide a service for you. So the last one we're going to go into is the content tab. Now this is mostly to do with your content area and all your fonts and your headings and all the bits and pieces like that, and your tables, your quotes. All right, that's your quote area there. Let's hit to the content. Okay, our shape pad, all right, we have a 7 pixels there. Let's bump this right up and see where it's actually changing. Your margin, it looks like your text is moving away further into the center of its content area. So I prefer to have this a little bit more spread out myself, just so it's a little bit closer. So margin is the internal border from text to the box, to the div box. Okay, if we go to padding and bring that up, notice it's now the padding is the distance from the outside of the box to the next area. Notice how the padding here has changed from that other border. If I bring this padding down again, notice it's much closer to the other border there. Okay, so that's your padding and your layout there. My personal preference is I like to keep the things fairly close together and use up as much real estate as I can inside the website. But again, you can go too far and get it a little bit too noisy. Our shape, okay, we can have it with a background, as you see there, or without a background. Okay, I prefer to have a little bit of a background there, because if you have in your background here, let me just show you why I like to have a background on it. If we go to our background tab and we put an image behind this, let's pick this one here. Notice there's an image behind here. Now you can see the image in the background there. If I take this shape away from it, notice how much harder it is to read the content in the articles. Okay, let me put that shape back on again. See how the text is a lot easier to read? I prefer to have a bit of a shape there, just in case you do have any sort of a content there. And what I like to do, if I can fix this transparency, I have no transparency there at all. Okay, there it is there. Or bring it down to like 20 or 40%. Okay, so you still see a little bit of the image in the background, but it's very clear to read the website. So that's your shape, that's your background. I like to leave the background there over the text and content because it's much easier to read. However, that's entirely up to you. Okay, we can have a radius there. Let's make a big 15 pixel radius. Notice the corners here. Okay, have a radius on them. Okay, we just take those back out again. We have fill color, so we can have a red if we want. Okay, you can change whatever color you like. Red looks pretty ugly. Let's try something a bit more nicer, like the white. A shape, we can have a border around this if we want. We can have a 1 pixel border or a 5 pixel border. Not sure why you'd want to do that, but you can see the border there. Let me just move this transparency to 0 and maybe the border color to a bright red. Yeah, it is there. So you can see your border there. Bring that down to just a 1 pixel border now. Okay, and you can see there you've got a little border around there. So lots of options, as you can see, to do things. Just makes a nice little bit sharper edge on the your content. It doesn't look too bad. What else we have? With shadow, you can put a shadow on your page if you like. I tend not to use shadows. They look a bit messy at times. A lot of times you can't actually see the shadow there at all. There's a little bit there you can see, but I tend not to use them. Again, up to you. Okay, so that's your shape. Your shape is your actual background on your content area. So content styling, again, same sort of stuff. Been through all that. What's our radius there look like? Let's go to content and our highlight color. So with our content, you can't see a whole lot, but your content section is this section here. Okay, this is your content section here. Okay, there's a few more articles there, but your content is your middle section. I tend to leave this pretty much alone, because if you put margins on top of margins on top of margins, there you go. There you see the the text. So let's just make our padding 3 pixels just to bring it in off the edge a little bit. Okay, so if you're struggling to get this text off to the edge and it's still sort of stuck in there, go and check out your content styling and your padding. All right, I might just bring that up to 5 pixels. That's a little bit better. But radius, border, and highlighted color, I wouldn't worry too much about that because you can't really see it. You know, you leave it fairly neat and tidy as we go. I tend not to worry about it too much, but you can, again, if you want to put it in there, feel free. Okay, our headings. These items here are our headings, and you'll find when we change these out, I like to scale my headings down a little bit so that they're a reasonable size. The default for Artisteer you use sometimes is kind of ridiculous. They might go right to like 28 or 36 on heading 1, and you're never ever going to use that style. So what I do is I bring it back to about 20 on all my headings. There's see it's come down there. If you want to go a bit bigger, we go 22. That's a bit better. But then what I do is every subsequent heading below that, I'll go 2 pixels less. So that was the first one was 22. I'll make that one 20, and so on and so forth down the line. And this is just my preference until I get down to heading 6. So when I get to heading, so 22, 20, 18. That should be 18. When I get to heading 4 or 5, I like to have it sitting around about 14 pixels. And the reason for that is, what I've found is when you start doing certain modules on your website for categories, list of articles in categories, it tends to use heading 4 a lot. Okay, and if you have the heading 4 too big in the layout on your template, your module size, your text in your modules, is grossly oversized to what it should be. So you need to just be aware of that. So I tend to keep my headings reasonably small, and heading 4 I try to leave around about 14 pixels, maybe a little bit less. 14 is good. And heading 6 I try and get around 12 pixels, 10 to 12 pixels around there. So scale it down from there. And again, your color is, you can have all your colors and your font families and whatever you want to have as far as your layouts go. That's entirely up to you. Image, basically your borders. Now, I tend to leave this out with nothing, and I will actually set this up using the WYSIWYG editors in Joomla. So you can put a standard border width on all your images if you want, and if you do that, every image that you put onto your website will have a border around it, whether you like it or not. So I tend to leave it at 0 and then place it in using Joomla. Okay, so I leave it no border. Again, table, if you put your borders and your text styles and set it all up in here, that's what you get on all of your tables in your website, whether you like it or not. I'll leave it at no border, and I'll place the borders on my tables in Joomla when I get there. All right, and I'm going to do tutorials on my favorite WYSIWYG editors so that you can see how to use those and set those sorts of things up as well. Okay, the quote icon here is for your quote section. Now, a quote section, when you do an article, you see a lot of magazines, they'll come up with a quote section out of the article and highlight it in big bold letters just to catch your eye to that particular statement in the article. Well, Joomla does the same thing, and you can actually lay it out to however you want. So if you go to quote, right, it's 15 pixels, you can have a different fill color in it if you want. Okay, there it is there. You can change the color of your font, size, family, whatever you like. You even change the type of quote icon you have there. So there's plenty of styles you can play with in there to do that. Okay, all the rest you have here is just your margins left and right, your line spacings. You can fiddle around with that and play with it all you like. I mean, line spacing, all that does is it spaces out your lines a bit more. And if you like that, then go right ahead. Okay, we can increase the width of our text to ridiculously wide, and looks really spacey and horrible and you can't actually read it. But if that's what you want to do, then go right ahead. And we have our left and right justification. Bullets. Now, when we do bullets, when you look at it down here, is there an example in here for bullets? Maybe these down the side here, you might see a list of bullets here. Is that what it is? Yes, it is. So notice your bullets down the side here. If you want to change those bullets to a different one, you just click on one of these here. It didn't do it. All right. So it's the bullets for the content. So if you do a bulleted list inside your content, your bullets image will be what it is there. Okay, again, I prefer to keep things really simple, either use a very simple arrow or a very simple dot. Nice one here, like something like that. That's all I want. But again, that's just my preference. Okay, your headline. If you do headlines, you can set your settings there. Post header, again, all the styling and fills and stuff is there. It's all exactly the same layouts as every other icon that you have in here. Now, sometimes you might not need to use all these. I certainly don't use these a lot at all. The post header and post footer, all that sort of stuff. If you can't see it changing inside your template, chances are it's not actually in there for you to use. And that's it for the content section. Again, like I said, I'll call it there. It's been a pretty big tutorial, this one. I'll trim it down as close as I can to 10 minutes. I apologise for going over. Again, if you have any questions, in fact, there is a tutorial. I will do one more tutorial. It'll be a short one, but it's one that I need to actually go over with you because I just struggled with this myself for such a long time, and it's to do with the forms, okay, and your form fields. So I'll do another tutorial and cover off on that one. So I hope you like this one. I hope you get something out of it. I hope you're enjoying the playlist. If you are, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate that. And I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.